My name is Roshan Pinto. I'm from Tavant, responsible for the manufacturing practice. We're going to have an interesting session today. We have with us Andre, who plays a good part in the overall service lifecycle management ecosystem at AGCO. He leads customer support. He's been involved with field service. He's been involved with customer service and also, with warranty. And we have Nanda, who leads, product engineering and the overall manufacturing space from an industry standpoint. Between the three of us, we're going to be looking at three different perspectives of what can enable service lifecycle management today. So we had to move around to, make sure the clicker works. So hopefully it continues to. So a quick introduction. So Tavant, we've been in the business of service lifecycle management for close to 24 years. Deep expertise in warranty and the overall SLM space. We have continued to evolve from just being a product player to complementing what we do in these areas with deep experience in the services side within the Salesforce ecosystem. So a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is a combination of what we do within the warranty space, within what we do, complementing that with analytics, and then how Salesforce has an ecosystem enables AGCO to have a well-integrated story, the whole C360 story, and how that really comes together with a manufacturer like AGCO. Something we continue to be proud of, we've been listed consistently as a leader in the warranty and service space by IDC. Over the last year, we've continued to be a major player in the overall service lifecycle management space. But warranty is where we have excelled, and that continues to be where we double-click now as Salesforce also evolves its overall storyline. And we'll speak a little more about that later. So with that, I will hand it over to Andre, who is going to be talking about what we essentially have done at AGCO and how the overall Salesforce ecosystem has essentially enabled value. Okay. Andre, over to you.
Yeah, so you can move to the next one. Okay, perfect. So thanks for introduction, and thank you guys for being here today for our discussion. So what I prepared here, and we have so many benefits of using Salesforce in our customer support organization, but I put here these four main buckets, and then I'll be talking to you a little bit more about each one of them to try to present to you the main benefits and the main things we are being able to achieve from a customer support organization when using Salesforce solutions. So if we start at the top, the first one is streamlined processes. So just to start with it, you guys may know that AGCO has a long history of acquisitions, since its foundation about 34-ish years ago. And with this number of acquisitions, it's natural for you to see a vast number of processes, tools, different people behaviors, and so many other things that bring challenges to us to either have single solutions that we can share data and also engage people when we think about a global operation. So this is where Salesforce came in as a big partner for us to be able to enable this goal that we have to streamline these processes. And one important thing that we learned there is that we are not only being able to streamline these processes and having these global approaches, but we are also being able to now bring the teams together. And this is one thing that we are learning now that's being super beneficial to us. And on that sense of bringing people together and having these global approaches, for sure one thing that I need to mention to you, which is one of the biggest success cases that we have, is FleetScan, which is our global warranty administration system. So along with Tavant, we were able to achieve this goal, having one single solution for this very challenging area that we have, which is warranty. The microphone is off. Which is warranty. And so this was a major milestone for our company. So last year, we were able to achieve that goal of having this process globalized. And this is bringing so many benefits, not only for the core area that's warranty, But we are also seeing now benefits in many other aspects of our operation. So basically, I'm talking to everyone who's consuming that warranty data, right? So if we think about product reliability, collecting data for identify failure trends, if we have rework programs, so many other things, they're now also benefiting from this globalization that we have for our warranty system. So this one is playing a key role and was definitely a major milestone for our operations globally. So that's the first one, just a brief example, and we have so many others when we talk about streamlining our processes globally. So that's a big challenge for us. So the next bucket that I added there is, I guess the key words for that one is team integration and consistency, so a consistent experience. Again, having all these groups now working together, we are breaking these barriers. We are being able to more and more foster this team collaboration globally, which was a big challenge for us because we are talking here about all these cultures and challenges we have in NIMI, bringing South America, North America, APA, Asian Pacific, and all these regions. So it is a big challenge to bring these teams and make them collaborate with each other. So one thing that I always like to talk about when we are achieving now this collaboration is the peak seasons, because from a customer support perspective, the peak season, if we think about harvesting, planning, or the mid-seasons, that's a challenge for us. So you have like a regular volume of cases and claims, and you can see the volumes there. They are pretty big. When we have this peak on volumes, since we have these standard tools now in processes, let's say we have the peak of harvest in Europe in certain countries in mid-July, we can then bring other regions to help them and absorb some of that workload. And that, to us, is true team collaboration. And the tool and Salesforce is enabling us to be able to get there. Because in the end of the day, what we are doing is we are providing to our dealer techs and our farmers a consistent experience throughout the year. So they are not seeing during the peak of harvest season a decrease on the quality of support that they are receiving. So this has been one of the major wins for us when using Salesforce and bringing the teams together. Okay. So moving to the next one, that's another big piece for us, and there's one thing that I like a lot there. So we were able to automate all those things, so routing, escalations, and approvals. And the key word there for us is, so there are actually two things. One is we are reducing these manual errors, basically by using machine data. We are using customer profile information. We are using agent skills and so many other things to drive these routings, approvals, and escalations. And this is, for sure, increasing our accuracy, right? So we are able to reduce errors. Some processes, we are even eliminating them, and we are being very accurate on what we do. However, that's not the main benefit we see there when we talk to the teams. What we see when we talk to the teams is this is enabling us to liberate that time on our agents to focus on using their time and expertise to focus on complex demands that we are getting from techs and farmers. To us, this is the best use of their time. So we don't want to see field service reps or THT, technical help desk, team members spending time on using tools and making decisions that we can automate. They're qualified to focus on complex issues and inquiries that we are receiving so we can fix them faster. So this to us is the main benefit we are getting from all this automation that we are being able to implement. So that's the third one. And the last one, when we think about analytics and 360 view, is, so that one is pretty much combining all these things. We have so many different inputs now when we think about the customer profile we are supporting, the machine history, and all the other things that we put together. It helps our teams to provide not only the traditional support, but we are moving towards a more personalized experience to them, right? So that's one thing that is being really important for us. And in addition to that, this is also giving us insights for our internal teams. So we can pinpoint the things we need to make better So I can look at certain regions, and even some team members where we need to put efforts there. And efforts meaning training, additional tools, investments, etc. So this is the second benefit we see when we have this additional analytics, because that way we can keep it, and that's very related to my area, continuous improvement. We can keep that mindset of always making it better on what we are doing, right? So Salesforce is enabling us to easily get there and keep that mindset in everything that we are doing. So I guess to finish this whole conversation, guys, the message that I want to give to you when we think about Salesforce and our customer support organization is we don't see that anymore as just a tool that is being introduced to us. We see that as a partner and a big enabler for us to achieve two things. So one is from a customer support perspective, we want to give the best-in-class customer service. That's one thing. And for our company, as a whole, we want to be the trusted partner of choice for our farmers globally. And for sure, I believe without a robust tool and partners such as Salesforce, we would be still struggling to get there. So these are the main messages that I wanted to pass to you.
Thank you, Andre.
Sure.
So before we move to Nanda, I think an interesting aspect of what happened with the overall implementation also is sometimes it's challenging when you begin a global implementation. So understanding where to start, and so with AGCO, for example, we started in China, right? China was a small market, but it was complex enough to create the initial footprint. And from there, we moved to North America, and then took on the truly complex one in Europe. So over time, the storyline changes. The requirements are the same but different, and the ability to finally deploy that comes with a combination of investing essentially in an ecosystem like Salesforce, right? So what Tavant has continued to do is to leverage what Salesforce has, both as a platform and has say a lot of standard objects that continue to evolve. So our storyline, our product line continues to evolve, and Nanda will be talking about what is happening with Manufacturing Cloud, and then we will continue to discuss how we are now complementing the evolution with Manufacturing Cloud and service. Yeah, over to you, Nanda.
Yeah. Hey everyone, that's a good segue, Roshan, and thanks for sharing that. And Andre, great story in terms of how you've been evolving the entire service transformation journey. So just expanding on that further, because what is critically important, and some of you who attended the keynote this morning, you probably heard from Adam and Tony, that manufacturers are transforming themselves, right? And they are looking at apps like Uber, Amazon, and they want the similar experiences, but the current ecosystem does not offer them, does not give them the ability to be able to do that. So the entire digital evolution is one element of it. But the other element is manufacturers are always thinking about how do I convert from being a cost center to a profit center? How do I drive more and more service-based revenue models? How do I offer my product as a service? And in order to do that, there is a huge technology foundation that they need to establish, which not only streamlines a lot of what we have been talking about Customer 360, but bringing in the entire asset 360 elements and the entire product 360. I was talking to a couple of customers during the hallway, and everyone is like looking at, okay, how do I get there? How do I build a lot of that? And that's what Salesforce, through Manufacturing Cloud, and some of you might be aware, that's just an industry solution, right? Which is built on top of the traditional sales, service, and field service offerings. But essentially, we are starting to deepen a lot of asset-centric services. What do I mean by that? Once a product is manufactured, once it is delivered to the customers, a lot of times the manufacturers do not have the ability to be able to register that asset and identify what are all the service evolutions that the asset is going through, whether be it the various service events, part swaps that are happening, and as and when the part swaps are happening, how do I attach my warranty, right, to the new part that is being attached. In fact, I was a a customer and victim, I have to call out. So I have this appliance, and then I had an issue with the appliance, and I don't want to name the company there, the appliance company, but you can put any manufacturer there, but just to be candid. And I called in the OEM, and they mentioned, hey, it's not covered under warranty. And then luckily I had a home warranty, and then I called my home warranty company, and then they were able to find out that although my appliance warranty got expired, but the capacitor, which was actually the faulty part, the supplier of that capacitor offered 5 years warranty, right? So it was actually technically covered under warranty, but being the original manufacturer, they were not able to help me with that, or they didn't even have that awareness, right? So those are the kind of issues that we oftentimes see, and like it's not only consumer electronics, right? Take any manufacturing unit. So that's where warranty becomes such an important element, and in order to drive that, if you really look at the roots of it, do I have the entire install base, right? And do I understand what is my entire service history of that asset, all the way from asset as manufactured to asset as installed to asset as maintained and serviced. There is a huge evolution, and the more and more complex ecosystem you have, it becomes a lot more eminent that you need to really track your asset lifecycle through the course. And that's what Salesforce has been focused on. And of course, partners like Tavant and others are really helping us bolster our technology foundation that's actually needed to drive and to be able to manage a lot of this asset evolution. And then, one thing which Andre already also touched on, is Salesforce. I mean, you've already traditionally been aware of what it maintains, the entire customer contacts. There's a lot of these opportunities from a sales perspective. But on the service side, it also continues to have the various cases, work orders, and then now we are talking about warranties. Imagine the power of the platform where all this data is coming together in a single unified platform, and then having that customer profile unification, right, is the term where we are bringing in all the install base, the asset data connected to that customer, and then all the product data and their product pricing history, everything, tying it to the customer. At the end of the day, I have all of that information available. So that way, I can then be able to drive a lot of the customization, and speed to configure is a very nice term that I always like, and Tavant actually plays to it in terms of how easy it is when you think about the rules that are to be configured, that gets changed. I was talking to one of the auto manufacturer, right? And you could imagine warranty is such a complex ecosystem for them. And they were literally trying to roll out multiple configurations, releases like every Monday, literally. Every weekend they are rolling out all these changes that are coming in, whether it be rule changes, any of the system software related changes. Imagine the amount of rigor that they need to go through, right, in order to do that. And that's where Salesforce tools and the platform and the tools that Tavant offers really helps you drive that extensibility and the flexibility that's needed. And then, automation is a big element, and you've been hearing a lot about AI, Gen AI, and the various offerings that come with it. Again, it doesn't have to be sitting in the platform necessarily, right? A lot of this intelligence, how you apply to the data that exists, and how you bring in the right data to the right customer at the right time, right, in order to be able to drive proper decision making. And that's where one thing that I do want to close out with is what I'm really excited about looking at the Tavant's journey is that we are now starting to align together as Tavant is evolving with their technology evolution, offering the various capabilities, functionalities that's needed. And in the similar lines as Salesforce continues to evolve our journey with the incept of manufacturing cloud, auto cloud, a lot of these industry solutions. The common question that oftentimes comes to me is, how does these two ecosystems live together? How do they work together? Are you now going to compete with each other, right? Absolutely not. So Tavant continues to be our partner, and we continue to evolve, and that's where I'm happy that a lot of Tavant's product leadership team have, we've come together, and we've ensured that as we continue to evolve in our own individual journeys, but the common unified aspect is the platform, right? The Salesforce platform, where a lot of customer data lives in. So how do we piggyback on each other from an functionality perspective, from the accelerators perspective, regardless of which industry that they have? Because Tavant have a lot of experience, wide industry knowledge, the experience of implementing it. How could they complement what Salesforce is offering through Manufacturing Cloud? And more importantly, how could Tavant come and align to on top of what the data model that we are introducing from Manufacturing Cloud perspective as well? So that's the best part, and that's the big excitement that I wanted to share, and certainly looking forward to further evolution of both of our journeys.
Thank you, Nanda. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. So it is a complex ecosystem, right? And as we start looking at, what plays out, we have evolved within our Salesforce and looked at bringing value, right, as the platform continues to grow extensively, right? And so we are working very closely with the product engineering team to see how, we continue to do far more. So while Nanda was talking about a much deeper ecosystem, this is where we play. So this is just a macro level view, but, we are bringing in industry specific kind of solutions and approaches to what is being built within Salesforce. Like for example, in the ag space, right? We do a lot more with ag equipment manufacturers. So our ability to do far more within the standard objects that, Salesforce would provide, and see how Tavant's journey continues to evolve based on our customer journey. That is where we are moving to, right? So we are looking at, areas that today may or may not exist in Salesforce, how we come up with some of those, and how what we have already built complements and strengthens what is already there within Salesforce. And the devil is in the details. So as we get into the next level of details with each customer, their journey and their decision making and their ecosystem drives a lot of, how we take things forward. And like Nanda also mentioned, right, when we look at the whole focus on Gen AI, we look at the focus on how is AI driving a lot of decision making. So Tavant, focuses on, advanced analytics and AI-driven models to enable the decision making across, what we are doing within the service space. So some of this would exist going forward within Data Cloud. We'll leverage a lot of the Salesforce ecosystem. Some of it will leverage your existing investment. It could be an investment in AWS. It could be an investment in Azure, right? But what is critical is that those decision-making components then feed back into your overall business layer, which lies within the Salesforce ecosystem. So you no longer have the necessity to go outside of it to really look at analytics as something that is a separate decision-making kind of framework. The decision-making criteria and the information now feeds back into the overall Salesforce ecosystem, enabling better and more intelligent rules, enabling better decision-making, and overall creating that value addition, right, that can only be found in something like Salesforce that has opened up not only what it's doing within the manufacturing space, but has partners like us that continue to contribute from a very specific domain and industry standpoint. So that is what makes it far more stronger, right? So the better together story is not just words, but it's essentially complementing what continues to evolve. And so something like this, for example, was not what our primary focus would have been, say, 3 or 4 years ago. But looking at where we can add more value, Tavant as a company does a lot of data work across multiple industries. And the manufacturing space, is an area now that we are doing extensive amount of, AI-related services and product work across especially large equipment manufacturers, across industrial equipment, farm equipment, construction equipment, large commercial bus and truck, right? So that's where our core expertise lies. So with that, we wanted to leave some time for questions. And before we get to questions, wanted to thank Andre and Nanda. We wanted to keep this a little more informal. And it's a 30-minute session, so hopefully it's not a lot of information, but enough to take from the forum. Thank you.